Actually, that's a really nice question, because it's like the spirit of the whole thing. You know, the movement is more. It was really honorable, I felt like, in the beginning. It was people who were doing it because they cared about themselves and about the people that they were feeding. You know, it's like, I want to bring this food, but I want it to be really good food. And so, pardon? And the earth. We cared about the earth. We cared about the food. Yeah, and the transportation. Like I said, we were trying not to use any fuel, other than our own handiwork. So, but I don't think you could say that everybody was vegetarian that was into it, but it was all very small farms. I mean, our farm was 5 acres. The largest farmers I knew were like 200 acres, so that was like a large farm. Now the big farms are getting into it. And I'm not really sure how they do it, because when we started with 5 acres, if we would expand, the beds that we were doing, we would have trouble in the beginning until the soil got really good, and, it was just, it was a struggle. So to get too big, I just don't really know how they manage it. But why do you ask about vegetarian or not? You're just thinking...
I'm interested. I want to know a realm of things. I've got more questions. USDA organic.
Right.
You see the label. Does that indicate they don't use herbicides?
Does it indicate? It indicates that they're not...
No pesticides.
Right. It indicates they're not supposed to be using herbicides, but what guarantees that? I don't know. I don't know the organic police, though my brother-in-law works for CCOF, which is one of the certifiers that's out in California. And he too is saying, they're just having a hard time keeping everything. And
I'm sure.
Keeping an eye on it.
Right. So, a long time ago, when we first started, and I drove this truck that said, Virginia Garden Organic on the side, I was at the Feed and Seed, and this man came up to me and he goes, how do you know it's organic? And I was like, I know the farmer. And I think that's really the way to know, is when you really know the people doing the work.
I think I've seen other labeling that said organic, but it did not have the USDA organic labeling.
Right.
So there's the question. Can you say organic without the USDA saying organic?
They are allowing some other certifiers. There's CCOF is one, because they were like the beginning. They were the biggest. Well, you know them from California, right? CCOF, Oregon Tilth is a really reputable and very good. I don't know what I think about.
Is that going to be a higher grade than what the USDA is? The USDA, as far as organic certifications go, on the lower rung? Can I make that assertion?
I make that assumption when I'm buying, so that I don't know if you get, but I do.
Of course I do.
Right.
I trust them anyway.
Yeah.
You do that based on what?
Why do I assume that the USDA isn't as good as like CCOF? Because I've known CCOF, I know people in CCOF, and to tell you the truth, I don't know anybody who's certifying for USDA. I don't know who those people are. And I'm talking about, I was a member of an organization that was the 13 southern states. We gathered all our information and put it together. And there were four pieces. There was Northwest, Southwest, Northeast, Southeast, and we put all of our information together, and that was what we walked through Washington. That was what we proposed as the law. Those were all the things that we weren't allowed to use, and the things that were acceptable, and the processes that were. And I mean, we gave it to the government, and it was a really good law, and I feel like it still hasn't gotten changed totally, but they're just battering it down constantly. And